The first construction of AYASOFYA dates back to the 4th century and is thought to have been built on a site that was a pagan place of worship. Both the first and the second AYASOFYA constructions suffered damage from fire as a result of riots. The second construction was built 100 years after the first, and both were rebuilt after being pulled down. AYASOFYA, as we see it today, is the third construction and was built by Justinian in the 6th century. Its current shape is the result of much reconstruction and many transformations carried out over hundreds of centuries. The enormous amount of construction material used in the building of AYASOFYA represents the broad geographical area under the control of Justinian during his reign. Construction materials brought from different regions of his empire came to life in AYASOFYA, with the size and power of the empire being displayed in one structure. AYASOFYA, which is admired all around the world, has the privilege of being part of a sophisticated restoration program. After the conquest of Istanbul, AYASOFYA became an important mark of the conquest and was turned into a mosque as its biggest prize. However, its name did not change. Its meaning, divine wisdom, is widely accepted by Muslims. After AYASOFYA was turned into a mosque, it became a classical Ottoman complex with its minarets, tombs, infant school, observatories, sabils, and madrasa. AYASOFYA was the biggest centrally planned basilica when first built. The main dome sits upon 4 large columns connected to each other by arches and is also supported by 2 half-domes to the east and west end. The initial construction of AYASOFYA started in January 532. Between the years 533 to 534, construction of the first floor was completed. Construction took 5 years and 10 months before it was finally opened for worship on December 27, 537. As a result of the earthquake of 558, nearly 20 years after AYASOFYA first opened for worship, the main dome and the eastern half-dome collapsed. The main dome was rebuilt to the same height, but the shape was altered. In the 6th century, the clock tower, known as Horologion, was built, and in the 7th century, the main saloon was built in the southeastern corner of AYASOFYA. Both constructions ultimately became ruins. With large-scale damage caused by the big earthquake of 869, the window openings in the northern and southern arms of the structure were narrowed when reconstructed. The buttresses in the eastern front date back to the 13th century. The bell tower built on buttresses remained intact until the 18th century. AYASOFYA was strengthened with buttresses on the northern, southern, and eastern fronts. In the last big Byzantine renovation, the main dome was strengthened with flying buttresses in 4 directions. The first minaret built by Mehmet the Conqueror was constructed on the Waite Tower on the southwestern front of the eastern half-dome. The brick minaret, also built by Mehmet the Conqueror in the southwestern corner, was followed by the erection of another minaret, this time built by Bayezid II in the northeastern corner. The Byzantine buttresses were widened by Sinan, the grand architect of the time. New buttresses were added to these. During this renovation, the first wooden minaret, which was erected after the conquest, was pulled down to make way for the twin minarets on the western front. During this period, the cistern, as well as the tombs of Selim II, Murat III, and Mehmet III, and the princes, were constructed within the walls of the burial place. After the sabil, an Ottoman-style water tank was erected in the 17th century. AYASOFYA became an extensive complex, with the addition of an almshouse, an infant school, a sultan's pavilion, and a library. It is known that in this period, the outer front colour of AYASOFYA was white. The Imperial Hall, which is used today as a prayer room, was first built in the 18th century and was enlarged in the 19th century. During the renovations carried out between 1847 and 1851, the outer front was painted in bands of yellow and orange. It is not known for sure, but is thought that maybe this was done to give the appearance of stone and brick. The flying buttresses that strengthened the main dome for 5 centuries dating back to the 14th century were completely destroyed. The observatory, used for astronomical and religious purposes, was also built during this period. After Hagia Sophia was converted into a museum, the outer front colour was changed to yellow in the mid-20th century. In 1986, the outer front colour was replaced. The new colour chosen was believed to be the closest to what was thought to be the brick dust mortar of the structure.